Hello again, and what is hip? And welcome to another pickups video. This is for the past 3 months or so, and this is everything I got. So nothing too crazy, but I got some really cool things that I'm excited to share with you guys. But before we get into the video today, I wanted to give you guys a quick apology for not being able to upload and respond to you guys as quickly as I would like to be able to. I'm finishing up my first year of grad school right now, so that's been taking up all of my time. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm trying to respond and upload as quickly as I can, given my circumstances with school. But I have some stuff pre-recorded, and I'm going to try and get some stuff out a little quicker. And another thing is we recently got a decent amount of subscribers because Maddie from Mr. Maddie Plays in Retro Rebound actually gave this channel a little shout out, which was just so amazing and completely unexpected. I didn't even find out about it until today. I got a message from a friend of mine on Twitter, and it was just so humbling and shocking because I don't do this full-time. This is just purely a side thing. I do it because I like to talk to you guys, and it's a little bit of a creative outlet, and I love his content so incredibly much, and I've been watching him for a long time now. So the fact that he actually likes some of my content is pretty crazy and just really cool, and he's such a nice guy, and I just wanted to give him a huge thank you, as well as all of the new subscribers that came over from his end, and all of my current subscribers as well. It's I never thought I'd get to, I think as of recording this, nearly 500 subscribers, which is insane to me. So a huge thank you to you all. But now that that's out of the way, let's get right into the video. And we're gonna start with Metroid Prime Remastered, my most hyped game of the year thus far. Right up there with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, of course. But this game, I pre-ordered it the day it was announced on the Nintendo Direct, and I'm a newcomer, a relative newcomer to the Metroid series. Metroid Dread was actually the first Metroid game that I played to completion, and I fell in love with it. And that's really what got me hooked on the franchise. And so I've always wanted to play Metroid Prime, but I never got around to it on the GameCube and or the Wii. And then when I saw that they were remastering it, pretty much remaking it, I mean, this game looks stunning, I knew that this is where I needed to jump in. So I played a little bit of it, not too much, since I've been so busy with school, and I'm loving what I've played so far. The setting, the vibe that this game gives off, the music, the graphics, it's all beautiful, and I'm so excited to delve deeper into this game. So the next little bunch here, if you guys saw, I recently made a video talking about why you should maybe think about collecting the PSP this year. And I also took my own advice, and I picked up a decent amount of PSP games here. So the first one I got is Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins, and I grew up with Ghouls and Ghosts on the Sega Genesis, and I absolutely loved that game. And I heard that they had a Ghosts and Goblins game on the PSP that was a remake of sorts, and apparently was really good. So I knew I had to get it. And it's starting to kind of rise in price, and I believe this is the only place that you can play this version of the game. And so I picked it up, and I am loving it. I've played several hours of it so far, and it's balls to the wall hard, as a Ghosts and Goblins game should be. And the graphics look really nice. The presentation of this game is surprisingly great, especially for the PSP, and what I'm assuming was maybe a lower budget game back in the day. But as you know, a Ghouls and Ghosts veteran, this is really a love letter, and I love it so much. So if you can find this and you have a PSP, definitely recommend picking that up. Now the next game I got here is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and I haven't played this yet, but I've never played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, I know. So this is one that I'd like to get to at some point, but I'm kind of wanting to start from the original Metal Gear Solid and kind of working my way up through the series. But I've heard great things about this, and the Metal Gear games are starting to go up in price on the PSP as well. But the graphics are stunning in this game. It's insane, and I'm pretty sure they also did a remake on the 3DS, or that might have been Snake Eaters. But this game has been around, it's on other systems. But yeah, hopefully I can get to this soon when I have the time. Now this is one that I've wanted for a while. This is Valkyria Chronicles 2. And I played Valkyria Chronicles 4 on the Nintendo Switch. Not much, but I really enjoyed what I played. I love tactical RPGs, and I love kind of the social simulation aspect that some of those RPGs add to the table. And this has all of that. And apparently this is a must-play for the PSP system. I don't think it's actually ever been ported off this system. I could be wrong, but it looks really good. It's apparently it's a shorter game in the series, but apparently the story's great, the gameplay's great, the characters are great. What else could you ask for? And again, just like with all the other PSP games, starting to kind of go up in price, especially because it is a tactical RPG of sorts. So I recommend you pick this up soon too. Now this is Loco Roco 2, and again, I didn't grow up with the PSP, so I never got to experience this, but I heard everybody talking about this. I know it was Patapon and Loco Roco. Those were like two of the top PSP games back in the day that I remember people talking about at school and on the bus. And so this also came in the lot that I got. All these PSP games came in a lot. And yeah, I haven't played this really either. I played about 30 minutes or so, but that's not enough to fully understand this game. So I haven't played much, but I enjoyed the music. It kind of reminds me of that that slime game that was on the Wii, World of Goo. World of Goo, I think that's what it was called. I get similar vibes with this. I don't know if they're by the same creators or what, but I love the music in this, so I'm excited to give this some of my time as well, when I get time. Hey. It also came with Hot Shots Golf, Open Tee, and Hot Shots Tennis. And this was a surprise. I actually popped both of these in. I love golf games. And the golf game is great. But what really surprised me was Hot Shots Tennis. Apparently Hot Shots Tennis is an RPG of sorts. Almost like the Mario Golf and Mario Tennis games on the Game Boy Advance, where it's that pseudo RPG experience in a sports game. And I played a little bit of it, and I was actually really enjoying it from what I played. And this is by Sony, the developer Sony, so it was a big budget title game, and the graphics look great, the gameplay's great. I'm actually oddly excited to get more into these games. And they're also really nice pick up and play games, and those are the games that I've really been kind of focusing on the past probably month and a half or so, just because of my lack of time. So I've actually played a decent amount of these, and I'm looking forward to playing more. Who would have thought? These are dirt cheap too. Now this was definitely the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme of this lot, and this is Jeanne d'Arc, and this is brand new and sealed, which I normally would not go after, but the price of the lot was so good that this game made up for most of the games. I really want an open copy because I want to play this game really bad. I took French for like 7-8 years, and so I had a little bit of a fascination from a historical aspect of Jeanne d'Arc, and yeah, I was super interested in this game, and kind of bummed that it's sealed because I don't know if I want to open it now, but at the very least I will eventually pick up an open copy of this, or maybe I'll just open this too. I don't think it's worth a crazy amount sealed, but yeah, it's a tactical RPG that apparently is really good, a hidden gem of sorts, and yeah, it's a game that I really want to get into, and probably the one I want to get into the most on the PSP system as of now. And similar thing with this. This is Dissidia 012 Duodecim for the PSP. And this is also sealed, unfortunately. I don't go out looking for sealed games because I want to play the games most of the time. But this was in the lot, and it was sealed, and it was the whole price of everything was really good that I could pass up. But I really, really want to play Final Fantasy Dissidia. I've never played any of the Dissidia games. I remember when these came out on the PSP back when I was in either middle school, I think middle school, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I was right in the middle of Final Fantasy VI at the time. I was emulating it on my PC, and I saw that this game had like Kefka and Locke and all these characters that I loved from the game, and I was like, this is so cool. They're in 3D, and it's a fighting like Super Smash Bros. Kind of thing, and I thought that was just the coolest thing ever, and I still do, but I can't play it still because it's sealed. But I don't think this is worth too much sealed, so I might actually crack this open unless I can find another copy for dirt cheap. But definitely looking forward to playing Final Fantasy Dissidia. Now the next game that came in the lot was Mega Man Adventures, I think. I'm forgetting what... No, Mega Man Powered Up. That's what this is. But this is the Japanese version. And I played a little bit of this, and I was actually thoroughly enjoying it. For those of you that don't know, the PSP is actually not region locked, so you can play Japanese games on an American system and vice versa. And so this lot came with a couple of Japanese imports, and the American version was actually censored. So this is the uncensored version. If you look it up online, you'll see why they decided to censor it. But yeah, it's a cool game. It's not my cup of tea completely. I'm not a big fan of the chibi art style, but it's a cool game to have nonetheless, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. You can never get enough Mega Man. The next one here, this one was exciting. This was Ace Combat X2 Joint Assault, and I was very excited to get this. Now, some of the PSP games, even though all of them are region-free, some of them are hard-coded to be Japanese. This one actually has the full English game on it. So you can change the language to English, and it just works really well. So you're just basically playing the English version. But I love the Ace Combat series. I started with Ace Combat 7 on the PlayStation 4. Absolutely loved it. And I was super excited to get this as well. I played some of it, and I was really enjoying what I played. There's just something about being in a jet plane and shooting people down that is just so incredibly enticing. So yeah, super cheap game too. I highly recommend that. And the last one, and I wish this was the English version. This is Castlevania X. And I talked about this game in my PSP kind of why you should collect the PSP this year. This is a remake of Rondo of Blood, Castlevania Rondo of Blood, that came out, I believe, on the PC Engine or TurboGrafx or something like that in Japan. So it was never in the United States. And so they decided to remake it, and they ported it over, and it was our first time being able to play that version of the game. And this is unfortunately hard-coded to Japanese, but the voice acting is English. But my hearing is not the best, so I can't rely on it. So unfortunately I can't really play this, but I am hoping to get the English version at some point. Alright, so that was all of the PSP games. Now, the next couple of games here I picked up from my trip to Video Games New York, and I also have a video of that on my channel as well. And I picked up 3 games there. The first was Sonic Generations. This was by far the one I was most excited to pick up because I've been looking for this game for a very long time, for a decent price. And I got this game at Video Games New York, and I've played a lot of this. I originally played it on the PC, but I wanted the 360 version because the Series X apparently upgrades it to 4K, and I think it might be the best way to play it, or one of the best ways to play it. So I had to pick this up, and I'm loving it. It's one of my favorite Sonic games, ever since Sonic Adventure. I would say this is probably, if not my second favorite, maybe my third favorite Sonic game in the series. It's just a love letter to Sonic's history, and it's just a really well-made game. And I hope they do a sequel or they go back to this kind of formula here soon. The next one I got was Child of Eden, and I got this because this is a spiritual successor of sorts to the Dreamcast game and PlayStation 2 game known as Rez, which is a little known game, but I was first turned on to it by Pete Dorr from Pete's Game Room many years ago, and this is a beautiful game. It's definitely not for everybody, and I would say it's probably not for me either, but it's a solid game, and it's beautiful. If you have like an OLED TV or a high HDR television, this is going to be popping off your screen. And it's also compatible with the Kinect sensor. I don't have the Kinect sensor, I just use the controller, and that might be why I'm not as into it as much, but what is there is pretty solid. If you like Rez, you'll probably enjoy this as well, but I have heard that the original Rez is the superior game of the two. Great music too. So the next game here is Knight's Journey of Dreams for the Nintendo Wii, and I also got this at Video Games New York. This was the last game I got, and I've wanted this for a long time. Knight's Journey of Dreams was actually my first foray into the Knights series, and then shortly after this I played Knights into Dreams on the Sega Saturn. And this game gets a lot of it gets a bad rap, and I think that's mainly because people are comparing it to the first game. This is not as good as the first game, but I still think it's a very good game in its own right. The music is phenomenal, the graphics are beautiful, and other than the platforming sections, the gameplay is actually pretty fun too. Maybe a little bit too reliant on motion controls, but I absolutely adore this game, and I think I might even make a video talking about just how great this game really is. But you can get this for cheap, and if you can find it, I highly recommend it. Alright, so the next game here is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. And you may be wondering, why did you decide to pick this up? Well, I found it pretty cheap. It was $25 brand new. And I was in the mood the other month to play Skyward Sword. And I have it for the Wii. And I was going to play it on the Wii. But there's something going wrong with my TV and the up converter that it wasn't really playing right, so I was like, I kind of want to get the HD version because it's also 60 frames a second, and I wanted to try it out because Skyward Sword is one of the only Zelda games, as I'm sure it is for most people, that I have not finished. I got pretty far, but I didn't end up finishing it. But I loved the game when I was younger. I only quit because there's a point where you do these trial things where things chase after you, and it kind of freaked me out as a kid. Still kind of does. It's actually horrifying. But I'm loving it. I'm loving this game. Genuinely. I'm not just saying that. The music is some of the best in the series. The graphics are beautiful too. And I like that it's kind of that, it's the last game that had that traditional Zelda formula, which I really did enjoy. And there's a story here. And the story is very engaging, and I love the Zelda and the Link dynamic in this game. It's so perfect. But yeah, I'm having a great time with this game. I don't think this game deserves all the hate that it gets. It's definitely not a perfect Zelda game by any means, but I still think it's a very good one. Alright, so the next Switch game here, I actually just got the other day. This is Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. I actually already owned this game, but I lost it. I can't find the game anywhere, and it's been gone for 6, 7, 8 months, and I think it might have gotten lost in my move, unfortunately. Because I got it because I wanted to finish it. I was super close to the end, and I haven't played Bowser's Fury yet, because I told myself I wasn't going to play it until I beat the standalone Super Mario 3D World, because I have a bad habit of starting games while I'm playing another, and then I never end up finishing any of them. So yeah, I love this game. I absolutely adore it. The music is so much fun in this game. The graphics are great. I know I say that about all these games, but it's true. I swear my vocabulary is bigger than that. But it's such a great game. Such a great game. And I'm super excited to get into Bowser's Fury because I've heard really great things about it. And it looks super interesting. So yeah, super excited to have this in my collection again. Alright, so the next thing I got, this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. for the PlayStation 5, and I actually got it twice. The reason I got it twice was because these were being sold. They were on sale for under 20 bucks each, and I wanted it in the handheld version, but I also wanted it to be in 4K and look really nice. So I decided to double dip, and I haven't opened either of them. But I haven't had really any experience with the JoJo anime, but I've heard great things about this fighting game, this fighting series, because I think it was also on the Dreamcast. I think they had a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game. I could be wrong, but the graphics look stunning, and apparently it's really good. So I got this to play with friends, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, give it a chance, because I've been in a recent fighting game kind of phase, for a reason we'll get into very shortly. So the next several games here I actually got in another lot. So the first game is Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360, and this is kind of the Lost RPG by Microsoft Studios. It's apparently, people say this is what Final Fantasy 13 should have been. I haven't played it yet because I'm actually playing through Final Fantasy 13 right now. That's the big game I'm playing. And yeah, but I did pop this in to collect some footage, and I was blown away. The cinematics and the presentation of this game, just the random battle scenes, the way they're presented, it's almost like just a cinematic movie experience. It's really quite something to behold. So I'm extremely excited to get into this, and this will probably be the next game I play after beating Final Fantasy 13. Alright, so speaking of Final Fantasy 13, I also got Final Fantasy 13, and this game gets so much hate, and I understand why it gets hate. But let me tell you why I love it. The music in this game is my favorite in the series. If not my favorite, definitely top 2, top 3. The soundtrack is just amazing, and the characters are so incredibly well written, and they're so strong, and the story is phenomenal. The battle system is also extremely addicting, but is it linear? Absolutely. It is so incredibly linear. And when you compare it to other Final Fantasy games, especially the older ones, it doesn't hold up. But when you judge this game on its own merit, on just as a standalone title, I think it's very good, and I think it's a very strong game on its own. It's hard too. It's not an easy game. It gets really hard towards the end. Right now I'm on the last disc, but I played this when I was very young, didn't get very far, but this year I told myself this is going to be the year of Final Fantasy 13, and I'm going to go through the entire series. So I'm loving my time with it, and I think you should maybe give it a try too. Just don't compare it to other Final Fantasy games. Just judge it as its own thing. But speaking of that, I also got Final Fantasy 13-2, which is still sealed, and somehow I've managed to find myself a couple sealed copies of this game. They just end up in lots and stuff like that. It's very strange. I hear that this one's a stronger game overall than the original 13, so I'm super excited to get to this. And then I also got Lightning Returns, the last game in the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, and my goal for this year is to beat all of them. Again, it is the year of Final Fantasy 13. Alright, so this was an impulse buy, but it was super cheap. This is Rune Factory Tides of Destiny on the PlayStation 3. This is brand new. It was on Amazon for like 10 bucks, so I had to get it. I don't own a PS3, so I can't even play it. But I do like the Wii version. I had a good time with that. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to own an older Rune Factory game. So not much to say. Then I also got 2 Point Campus on the Xbox Series X, and I played the original 2 Point Hospital on the PC, and I really enjoyed that, and I thought I would enjoy this too, and I do, but it's just basically the same thing as 2 Point Hospital, so I haven't been able to get super into it since it feels just more of the same, but it was super cheap, and if you can find this for super cheap, and maybe you haven't played 2 Point Hospital, or maybe you did and you just want more of it, I think this is a very solid choice. It's on sale all the time. Alright, so these two things here, I got a couple of amiibos. I am not an amiibo collector. I don't go out of my way to get amiibos, but I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage, and I have a first impressions video of that on my channel as well. And there's a point where you unlock some amiibo compatibility to get some like extra stuff. I had to do it because I love the game so much, and I had to go out and buy just a couple of amiibo so I could unlock some of those things. Otherwise, I don't do amiibo. I only buy amiibos for the games that I really, really like. I did the same thing with Metroid Dread. So yeah, I bought Corrin here, and then I got Marth. I don't know who Corrin is. Fire Emblem Engage is my first game in the series, so I'm a newcomer, but I'm loving my time. I love strategy RPGs, and Engage is one of the best that I've played. So yeah, I had to get a couple of amiibo. Alright, so this here, I was super excited to get this. I got this the other day. This is the original soundtrack for Animal Crossing New Horizons, and this is Volume 2. This is a 6-disc set, tons and tons of music, and it's basically everything that the first volume didn't have. So Volume 1 and Volume 2 is the complete set. Animal Crossing music is some of my favorite. It's just the perfect music to listen when you're stressed, you need to relax a little bit, need to chill out, or if it's a rainy day or something like that. It's perfect for that, and there are tons of tracks on here. And New Horizons has some really great music, so I had to get this. It was pretty cheap, and I'm a pretty big video game vinyl collector and CD collector as well, so I had to add this to my collection. All right, so now we get into the meat and potatoes of my pickups. This was the big thing of the year so far. And I actually uploaded a unboxing and first impressions of this on my channel, and I'll put a link below. But this is the Neo Geo CDZ, and I got this and a couple of games in a lot for a really good price. And for those of you that don't know, the Neo Geo CDZ is a faster version of the Neo Geo CD, which was a CD version of the Neo Geo MVS, which was the home console version of the arcade cabinet, the Neo Geo AES. I know, quite the flowchart. But I'm going to be uploading a video here in the next couple of weeks talking about my time with this system over the past several months. So I'm not going to get too into detail here, but I am loving this system, and this system is what got me on this fighting game hook. Because I wasn't super into fighting games before that, but because of this guy, I've been craving them all the time. So yeah, I got a Neo Geo CDZ, and I also got myself an extension cable from Tomy for the Neo Geo CDZ controller, since it's not the longest cable in the world, and I want to be able to play it in bed. So I got myself an extension cable, and I also got myself an adapter that works with the HD Retrovision cables, so it upscales it and it makes it look nice and crisp on a flat screen TV. So these are the games that came with the system. I got Samurai Spirits here. Absolutely love this game. I would have to say the Samurai Spirits series has probably become my favorite fighting game series of all time. I really, really enjoyed my time with it. I also got King of Fighters 97. This is hard. The King of Fighters games I've been struggling with a bit. Again, I'm not a fighting game connoisseur, so yeah, I'm definitely getting my butt kicked. And then I also got Real Bout right here, which is also King of Fighters. And then we got King of Fighters 94. And the sprite work in these games is really just stunning. It's beautiful. Really beautiful. Then I got another copy of King of Fighters 97. That just came with a lot. And then we got World Heroes. I'm actually enjoying this one quite a lot. I'm liking this. It's a little easier, maybe that's why. But World Heroes and Samurai Spirits, or Samurai Showdown, are definitely the highlights of this lot that I got. I'm having a great time with this, and I want to get the sequel because apparently the sequel's better. And then I got Real Bout Special, King of Fighters Special. This one is a good one, but hard. And then my favorite, Samurai Showdown or Samurai Spirits number 3, I believe. This is a fun one. This is the one that has been eating up all of my time. I've been having the time of my life getting my butt kicked in this game. The sprite work in this one is the best that I've seen on the Neo Geo CD thus far. And the character designs and the music and all of that just wrapped up into one amazing package, and I love it. I love it so much. But again, I'll have a video talking about my experiences with the Neo Geo CDZ sometime later this month. But yeah, there you have it. That was my pickups for the past 3 months. I hope you enjoyed watching. I definitely enjoyed being able to geek out about all of this stuff with you guys, as I do with every video. And once again, I want to really thank Matt from Retro Rebound and Mr. Matty Plays for really recommending my channel and giving it that shout out. That was so incredibly cool, and words cannot describe how thankful I am and humbled that he enjoys my channel. So that was a really cool experience, and I'm so thankful for all of you newcomers who have come to this channel. As you can see, we're not the highest production quality around, but I've been told it's a very old style of YouTube where it's just you sit and talk about the games, and that's what I enjoy watching, and that's why I make these kind of videos for that smaller niche out there who likes this kind of stuff. But yeah, what have you guys picked up? What are some of your good crazy pickups that you've gotten thus far this year? I'd love to find out. Let me know in the comments, and if you want to reach out to me, you can follow my Twitter and my Instagram and shoot me a message on there. I'll try to respond as quickly as I can, but again, I've been pretty busy, but I'm gonna try and get a little better with that this month. I'm definitely in the thick of it. It's gonna get a little more busy over the next couple of weeks, but after that, it should lighten up. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a good one.